for all of our clients, one of my roles is coaching them on camera. Okay. And one of the things that I do with every single person without fail, doesn't matter how many times they've been on video before, newbie or pro, is remind them you're talking to one person. There's only one person listening to this video at a time. One. And so have a conversation with that one person.
Hi, I'm Erin Marcus, former corporate executive turned entrepreneur and founder and CEO of Conquer Your Business. Welcome to the Ready Yet podcast. We're excited to bring you more than 100 episodes of interviews and insights designed to help entrepreneurs get the financial and emotional freedom they need in order to build a business and a life they're proud of. All right, welcome to this episode of the Ready Yet podcast, where Superman is joining me. No, seriously, Atiba De Souza. I'm so excited here. Here's why. We just had this conversation about our willingness to accept the fact that we are both very, very opinionated, and at the same time be very, very interested in real conversations. In order to either kind of confirm our opinion, which is, externally, or potentially open our eyes to things. And I want to combine for people your subject matter expertise, as well as your opinions and your personal client journey, so that they can really take away some great nuggets today. And before we even do all that, because we can go into it, why don't you give people a little bit of a more formal introduction into who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. And even before that, let me just say this. The measure of true genius is the ability to hold opposing ideas in your mind at the same time and not go crazy.
Here
Right?
I thought I was just bipolar. No. Here I thought I saw what Sybil, we're of age, right? They made a whole movie about that.
No, you're not bipolar.
Back in the
just
day.
a genius. You're just a genius. And
I told my mother I was brilliant.
Yes. Absolutely brilliant. All right, y'all, in case you can't tell, we're gonna have some fun today. Right? I am Atiba with Client Attraction Pros. They call me the video content Superman. Why? Because I help you ideate video content. Why is that so important? Well, guess what? Video will help you shorten your sales cycle. We want to talk about client acquisition, but let's also talk about shortening that sales cycle. If your sales cycle right now is 6 months, how much greater would it be if it was only 3 months? That's what video can do for you.
Love it. The way that I describe video is in marketing and sales cycles is video can hack know, like, and trust.
Oh, without question.
Because we're small business owners, but we're not professional actors. We can only pull off what we can pull off. And your audience will get to know you so much better, so much faster, so much more authenticity. The more they see you, as opposed to just the 25-year-old headshot you did.
So let's go even further, right? And we're going to dive. Hey, y'all ready? I hope y'all got some flippers on. I don't care if you're wearing swim trunks or not, but we about to dive, y'all. Here we go. Let's dive. We're diving in, because here's the deal. When we do a content strategy for someone, it's built and based on know, like, and trust. Or as we say it, why, how, and what. Why, how, and what. Follow me for a moment. So we all talk about, I want to build know, like, and trust and blah, 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 blah. But what is that really? And how do you actually break that down? Well, that's where why, how, and what come in. Your why content, the why content that you create, is that big philosophical content that says, why is this important? Why should you even listen to me about it? Right? How is this going to change your world? Which is still a why. Don't think that I mean only why questions, right? Or things that have why. Sometimes it is a how, right?
Absolutely.
How is this going to change my life? How is this going to make the world a better place?
Why should I care?
Why should I care? Exactly. Those are the things that you put out there that do what? They build and know. Those are the first things that people see of you that get them to know you, because that's what we ask. When we have a problem, we go ask a big philosophical question first, because oftentimes we don't know what the solution is, right? How do I solve breast cancer? Or cure breast cancer, or get rid of my breast? That's a big philosophical question, right? So that's your why. Then we do your how. How now gets into, okay, let me show you how to do something. What are the steps to do this thing? Could be tiny. Hey, let's say you're writing email and you go look up how to write the perfect email subject line. Well, somebody can give you the steps to do that. That's how question. You're bringing them into your world and showing them your genius, that you know how to do this. Now, here's the fun part of all of this. That's know and like. People don't buy until they trust you, which also means when we want to talk about CTAs, yeah, I'm going to go there. I told you I'll be diving. Okay. When y'all want to talk about CTAs, your CTAs on your know and your like content, on your why and your how content is not contact me to buy. No, they don't trust you yet.
Correct.
That's when you create the what content. And the what content talks about what you actually do.
Yes. Love it. All right. My opinion, because we all know I've got them.
Oh, yeah.
Establish that. One of the things, so the way that I describe content pillars is tactical, transformational, top of the line. Tactical, how do I do something? Transformational, change the way somebody thinks. And top of the line, what is my overarching theory on being that would help people know if they're my people or not? And one of the ways that you mentioned that I'm a big fan of in terms of how do you differentiate yourself?
Yeah.
Is in the content, showing that you have a different understanding of the problem, showing that you can apply the solution. This to me is a game-changing differentiator. Can you, as the expert you're putting forth as the front of your business, show somebody in your content how not only do you understand the problem at a different level, but can you also show them, this is how we build the trust, right? That you can actually apply your solution to their unique situation. And this is also the reason that so many online coaching, consulting, subject matter expert businesses just went belly up in the last 12 months. Because they knew what. They knew what to do in terms of a list.
And that's it.
But that was it. That was the extent of their knowledge, because it was the extent of their experience. And they had never walked their talk and done what they offer. So they didn't know how to adjust. And just going back to video, like this is the your content is where you get to display this for people.
Yes.
So that they're more confident by the time. My favorite thing is to have a go-to-market strategy that exists in a way that by the time we are having a mutually agreed upon conversation, not pitch one-sided, but a mutually agreed upon conversation on, are we going to be exchanging money for services? It's a confirmation conversation, not a consideration conversation. And you do that in your marketing, in your content, the exact way that you're describing.
Yeah. So let me go even further. Y'all know what we're going to do. We're about to dive deep again. All right, here we go. Here we go. So number one, you're absolutely right. Okay. Having the experience like you and I have, I mean, I started on video in 2007. I've been in the search and SEO space since 1996. Been a while, right? But here's the deal. Here's the deal. That's all great. And those people like us still went belly up if if they weren't willing to truly share what it is they do and how they do it. Listen, you know who my best clients are? My best clients call me and they say, hey, I watched this video that you did when you showed XYZ. I saw you on this masterclass where you went through this whole process, and I went out and I did everything that you said and it worked, but it just took too long. And I just need you to do it for me.
Yes. Yes.
Best clients.
Favorite people in the universe. And
okay.
and that's what I do. Don't spend, as a business owner, you do not have enough time. You will run out of money. Now, I get it. In the beginning, you got to bootstrap some things and you got to figure out what works for you. And there's only so much you can do at once. However, do not stay in a place where you are spending a long time to do a bad job. It's something that somebody else can spend a short time to doing a great job at doing.
So, and I firmly believe that the job of a true CEO is three things: people, culture, numbers. You're doing anything else, this is me. You're doing anything outside of those three, you're outside of your lane.
And this is hard. Like, I don't understand. Like, part of me, I talk a lot about how there's certain things in my corporate experience that just killed me as an entrepreneur when I started. Being risk adverse, right? Being so risk adverse killed my original attempts, right? All the things I thought I was supposed to be, as opposed to just dealing with the fact that this is who I actually am, right?
Yes.
Right. But there was one thing in particular, aside from the work ethic, right? Work ethic, 8 to 5, scheduling, time management, that was all great. But the other thing that helped me immensely was the idea that I have specific roles in my business. I'm just one more asset that Conquer Your Business owns. It's not the Erin show, it's a business, and I'm an asset of that business. And just like in corporate, if I would have gone into the marketing department and logged into the server and started messing with the website, I would have been chased out with, pitchforks and torches.
Absolutely.
So why would I do it now?
Absolutely. And so here's why, right? And it's the fallacy. So I just had this happen. And it's funny. You and I just talked about this. Okay. So my Go High level is acting up. And it's sending some weird stuff.
Now, my system is acting up as well. And it's doing all sorts of weird things.
What's interesting, Erin, is after you and I talked about that just yesterday, I had the epiphany of exactly what is wrong and how to go fix it. And I said, all right. And I wrote it on my list today. To go do it.
Oh, you had the opposite approach that I did.
So it got onto the list. And as I'm looking at it on the list, I'm like, Marco spends all day in Go High level. It's time for him to learn this. Why am I the one doing this? And so on my call with Marco today, I said, Marco, how are you doing? How are you feeling? You feeling real comfortable in Go High level? You've been a little while. Okay, it's time to learn automations. I have just given you access to the automations. I want you to go, and here's the problem. Now, I already know what the problem is and where it is. I didn't even tell him. I just said, here's the problem. Go find where it is. Go figure it out. And most of us as business owners won't do that because we know it would have taken me maybe 30 minutes max to go fix that problem. It's going to take him several hours. Guess what?
No.
But guess what? Get this. And no offense to Marco. No offense to Marco. My 30 minutes is way more valuable than his several hours.
Well, and I'll give you another. This is how I handled it. By comparison. Because you're right. You're absolutely like, part of the challenge of becoming a business owner is realizing that the process kind of sucks because it's painful, because it does get worse before it gets better. And it's very messy before it gets smooth. My situation is that we've got a lot going on. And I just came up with another idea this morning about how to solve wait till you hear it right, how to solve my next level thing that I'm trying to do from a marketing and strategy standpoint so that we can hit our numbers by the end of the year.
Yeah.
My team, I told them to stop copying me on the emails about the problem because it was making me crazy that it wasn't working. And my role, to your point, as CEO is if you get stuck solving the problem and need to use me to tap into the higher level people at the vendor, because they know when the team goes through tech support, the team submits a ticket, the team uses a chat bot.
Yeah.
I call the owner and says, your thing ain't working, fix it.
Right.
If you need me to shortcut the process, I will. And until then, I don't want to know about this anymore. Not because I don't care, but because it was draining my energy and pulling me.
It's not your zone of genius.
Oh God. Well, I wouldn't even touch it because I couldn't, unlike you, I couldn't figure out. I wouldn't be able to. I didn't try because I honestly, it's not my zone of genius. But as the owner and worrier, is the chief concerned officer, right? Is the chief concerned officer, right? I couldn't let it pull me down right now. They're great. They're brilliant. They're better at it than me. They will solve this problem.
They will. And that's the thing that us as small business owners, in order to become true business owners, have to get to. You have to understand trust.
So where do you start? Let's back it up, because I know that I talk to a lot of people who don't have a huge team yet. I don't have a huge team. By the way, nobody on my team is full-time.
Okay.
Nobody on my team is full-time. They all have, right? I have a team of entrepreneurs who do really cool things.
Yes,
and that was by design. I want driven entrepreneurs on my team. But where does somebody start going back and even roping in this client acquisition system that we're talking about? Because one of the things I know is, in order to move from entrepreneur, solopreneur into a business owner, in order to move into the types of income, revenue, and profit margins you were thinking of when you started your business, you have to start learning how to leverage your resources.
Yes. Yeah. So there are two things. Okay. And I'll tell you, I had one for a very long time, and I didn't have the other one for a very long time. And it's not until I got the second one that things really started to change. So the first one is systems. Understanding.
This is why.
Understanding that.
That's why we're the same person.
Yes.
It just doesn't look like it.
No, I'm just I'm just a Tanner version. That's all. Right? A little less here. And
a little more, not by much, by the way. Little more masculine version over here. Yes.
But you have to understand that you can't keep flying by the seat of your pants. Okay. So I learned this early because as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I love to create, and I love to go out and just create. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, in order to create, you have to destroy. That's the cycle. It works that way. But a lot of the times what I was destroying was something else that I created that wasn't even finished yet.
I mean, I thought it was just an attention span on that was the problem.
It's not. This is who we are, and this is how we're built, and this is how we're wired. And you need to understand that listening to us. It's okay. You're not flawed. Okay. But what you need, and so this is what I got way back in, it was about 2005 or so. And I don't even remember the book that I was reading totally that gave this to me. It was between 5 and 7, sometime in there, was build systems. And for me back then, it was build systems so you can break them, because I knew I was going to break it. And so instead of fighting myself, I figured out, sit down, build a system. Then I was going to go out and do my own thing. And then when it didn't work, I can come back to the system.
And fix it.
What that grew into, though, was systems that now when I have staff, I can say, here's the system. It works. Go do it. Go make it better too, by the way. Like if you see something that's not efficient, make it better in the system. Let's document it, right? Yep. And we create SOPs. So that's the first thing you need. Here's the second thing, and this one is just as big and a hell of a lot harder. Okay. but you won't get there unless you do this one. And here it is. You have to replace yourself every 120 days. So Chris Crone, real estate mogul, I happened to be in the audience when he was presenting one time, and he's on stage, and I got to meet him afterwards and everything. And he's on stage and he's talking, and he says, I'm running $100 million company, and I work, I think it was either 2 or 3 days a week, right? And it sounds like he's bragging and all of this stuff. And he says, but I'm going to break it down and show you how, right? And he broke it down and he showed us how. And he said, but here's the thing. Everybody sees this, and you see my week, and you see how I block the things, and and this is my family day, and this is this day, and this is the day. And so I really only have 3 days of work on the entire week. Everyone sees that. And he says, but this is the piece that you miss. And this is the piece that we've been missing. He says, every 120 days, I replace what I do in my business. So I look at myself, and I look at all the different things that I am doing, and I pass those off to other people every 120 days. Now, I tell you, it's been, 3 years since I heard that from Chris Crone. I haven't gotten to 120 days yet, but in other words, of doing it every 120 days, but I am fighting for it, and it has made such a difference.
I had that day today. I had that, and I hit that, I want to say there's 2 or 3 times a year where I just get, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. And the instinctive response is, I need to slow down to speed up. And the only way I can do that is get stuff off my plate. Yeah. And right before we got on this conversation, on this call, I was looking at my calendar going, what am I doing that I need to stop doing?
Yes.
Not what do I need to start doing? I learned that, was it Richard
Branson.
That's saying no. That's saying no. What do I need to stop doing? Right?
So
because
powerful.
Oh my gosh, like the phrase that I hear over and over and over again from several people is, it's never about more hours, it's always about more focus. It's never about more hours. I built my own business, this business, for the first 3 years. And I built a business where the average business coach is making 30, 50K a year. I got to multiple 6 figures in 18 months. And I only worked 4 days a week because I volunteered on Fridays. And I only stopped doing that because I moved too far. And I was volunteering in wildlife rescue. So I come home all gross. It's not like I can jump on a Zoom call after that situation, right? There's a whole, process once I get home before I'm allowed in the house type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So it's more focus, not more hours. And what you're talking about is adding on top of that, right? If you look at what you're doing, going back to where we started this conversation with a client acquisition system, can you focus in on it? Can you replace yourself? Can you do what you need to be doing on the front end?
Yes.
And not doing the things you don't need to be doing or that someone else should be doing.
Yes.
And this sounds so easy when we just see it like this.
Yeah. But
it ain't that easy.
It isn't, but this is where video, especially, let's get back to client acquisition, especially in video, that's where video helps. You see, because let me say this, for all of our clients, one of my roles is coaching them on camera. Okay. And one of the things that I do with every single person, without fail, doesn't matter how many times they've been on video before, newbie or pro, is remind them, you're talking to one person. There's only one person listening to this video at a time. One. And so have a conversation with that one person. Now, once you frame it in that sense of understanding that what we're doing is having a conversation with that one person, just like if they called you on the phone or they walked into your office, it's just you and them. And they asked you a question that you're now answering on video.
Don't put your marketing hat on and be all right.
Right. But
Totally.
this is why video is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because you're having that conversation that you would have had, that 15 minutes that you would have spent, but you're not there. And that's why it helps shorten your sales
You're
cycle.
leveraging your resources. Leveraging, right? Getting into that one-to-many opportunity.
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Ready Yet podcast, brought to you by Conquer Your Business. With decades of experience, Conquer Your Business creates business and branding strategies that build multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses. And we don't just show you what to do. We have an entire team of people available to help you do it, strategy and implementation. You can learn more and reach out to us by visiting conqueryourbusiness.com. But, and this is the other thing that you're really saying without saying, and I believe this is where I think a lot of people get stuck, and it's just a story that they tell themselves based in fear, and I totally get it. One-to-many and what you're describing does not remove the personalization.
No.
It does, right? I think a lot of people they will tell you, but then it's not as personalized. And that's not true. I was given the same advice you were, that you were talking about when I studying with my mentor for keynote speaking. So here is a gentleman who would get paid $50,000 to be on stage for 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing he said to me was, nobody wants to hear a speech. The last thing anybody wants is to hear a speech. You're having a conversation with one person. You're just doing it with 500 people at once.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about personalization. Okay. And because you're right. You're absolutely right. And this is something that we have to deal with our clients as well. And people, well, how do I get to that? You see, let's go back to what I said, which is you're talking to one person. Your job when we're talking about marketing is to be 100% obsessed with your customer. So let me even back that up a little bit. When we talk about traffic, because that's what we're talking about, right? Client acquisition starts with traffic.
Starts with traffic.
Period. Whatever traffic means to you. Eyeballs on my thing.
Yes.
Right? Traffic starts with an obsession with the customer. Hear that. Traffic starts with an obsession with the customer.
Do you know, wait, I have to show you this. You're going to die. This is literally, this is what's on my computer.
Yes.
It's a card that says, be obsessed. Be obsessed. Your business is not about you.
It isn't. You have to be obsessed with them now. What does that mean? It means you've got to get to know them better in a lot of senses than they know themselves. What is that?
You're going to understand the problem underneath their pain in a different way.
And that's the personalization.
Yes.
Okay. And so, see, people want to think that personalization means I need to call you Erin to be personal. Yes, but that's not the only form of personalization. If I could talk to your love for skull mugs and how much that means to you and what it brings out on the inside of you and remembers, has you conjure up that feeling of fight or whatever it does. I'm just making that up, right? But the point here is, when I'm obsessed with you, I know that that's what that mug means to you. So now when I'm creating content and I reference that in my content, now I am connecting with you on a personal level.
Right. So why don't people do this?
Because it's hard.
It is hard. I call it, you didn't do the work before you went to work.
You didn't. And it's hard. And it's tedious. And nobody wants to do it.
And it's not why you went into business. You went into business to do the thing the business does.
It's not. It's not at all. And, you know, when you work with me, for my clients that work with me, like one of the first things we do is we create your ideal customer profile. It's an 11-page document. Who the heck on their own wanted to spend time doing that? But guess what? You ain't gonna be obsessed if you don't have this information.
It's the exact first thing I do with my clients. Who do you help? Even before we talk about what it is that you do for them, who do you help?
Yes. And let's talk about that transformation. Where are they today? Where are you taking them? What's the transformation? What are their fears? What did they try before?
Right.
What did their friend tell them to try that they didn't try?
What are their deal breakers about your types of services?
Yes, all of that you need to know.
And I think right now, because of the internet, because of the just there's so much information available, we're dealing with a smarter marketplace than we've ever had before. So if we want to talk about back to what we mentioned about why people exited the marketplace in the last 12 months and the last 18 months, why did it get harder to do business?
Yeah.
One of the reasons, not just the economy aside, but one of the reasons it's now harder to do business is because people are smarter. They get it. Yeah. Like, aside from having to unravel my mother and her saying yes to scams, most of the people, right? Right, it's still out there. But the marketplace, business owners are smarter. Your consumers have more information at their fingertips than they've ever had.
Yes. Yeah. And here's the deal. And you may not like me saying this, but I don't care because you're still listening to us. So therefore, deal.
Maybe they just like me instead of you.
And that's fine, but I'm still here. So you're going to listen. No, seriously though, listen. People, your customers want to be subject matter experts on your product or service before they buy from you. Heck, some of them even want to be subject matter experts before they call you, before you even know they exist.
And I always thought that was my weird ex-husband and his diving into the stereo equipment problem before. No. But you're so right. And I really don't know that I thought about it that way outside of the people who I very judgmentally are. Let's face it, who are we kidding? I make instant decisions. I make very quick decisions. So I take action very fast. So I can be a little judgy over the person who dwells and you have paralysis by analysis. But tell me and everyone the difference between that and what you're talking about.
So yes, there are those people who just want to inundate themselves so that they can find a reason not to make a choice. Yeah, there are. Yeah, they are. Absolutely. There are two sides to this that you have to understand, okay? And that are really, really important. One is a study that was done. It's called Milgram's Law. This is an actual law. And it says that over 90% of people will blindly follow the first person that educates them on a topic. Let's start there. Let's start there and understand that they're going to blindly follow you.
Brutal.
Okay. But you can lose that blind followership if you don't give them something to follow. Okay. Now, here's the deal. People are no longer buying brands, they're buying people now. Hear me. I give you a perfect example of this.
Well, look at our big brands. There's people at the front of Amazon, the person at the front of eBay, the person at the front of Microsoft. People.
Okay. I have a car dealership down the street that 30 plus years ago, more than 30 plus years ago. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. Jeez.
Welcome to the
my mother bought a car from that brand. And she didn't know that she could negotiate, and they took her for a ride, literally on price. Then the car turned out to be a lemon, and then they took her for yet another ride. And so I said, I will never, ever, ever buy a car from them. 30 plus years passed. Last year, I bought a car from them. Why? Because I met a guy, and he happened to be a salesperson there at a time when I needed a car. And me and that guy ended up in such a great relationship, such a great friendship, that I'm like, I'm going to support you despite my disdain for your brand. People buy people. So if they're
Well,
buying people, that means that they want all the brand information so they know this is the brand I want, but which person do I want to buy it from? Okay. And that's also where video helps you.
right.
They get to see you, feel you, know you. One of the big things that we do when we help our clients is for them to be natural on camera. You said it earlier. We're not here to put on the greatest show in the world. That's not what this is about. It's if you stutter, stutter. Because when they call
If
you on
you're
the
sweary, swear. Don't
phone,
swear
they
on other
want that
people's stages.
person.
Yeah, exactly. It's the authenticity. And I also think that the two things that messes people up with this is one is scarcity. They're very, very scared that if they narrow down their ideal client to a single individual, they're basically saying no to
everyone
else. It's a scarcity mindset and the fear of authenticity, the fear of being who they truly are. It just makes this harder, which is why, as much as emphatically the way that I speak, at the same time, I have all the empathy in the world for the challenges of doing what we're talking about.
Yeah. So let's deal there. Okay. Here's a cell phone, everyone. This is a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Plus, I think. At this point, it's about 3 years old. It has 3 cameras on the back, but there is a crack across one of the cameras. It's been used very heavily over the last 3 years, and its memory is almost full. 3 years ago, this phone was worth $1,000. Okay. Today, you could probably get it for $250, $300. Would you pay me $1,200 for this phone today? Of course you wouldn't. That sounds stupid.
I'm thinking, do I get all your contacts and all your information?
Now, if I told you on this phone was the contact of the person who could solve your biggest life problem, and that problem was worth what? $100,000 to you, $1 million to you, would you pay me 10 grand for this phone? Of course you would. You see, that, my friends, is niching down.
Right.
You see, we've considered niching down the wrong way. You consider niching down and say, oh, but if I niche down, I'm excluding everybody else. Okay, yes, technically you are. But what you're doing is saying, hey, you, Mr. Specific over there, and all of your friends like you, I have the solution that nobody else has to your problem. I'm the only one who can provide this solution for you. And guess what? Because of that, I can charge you anything I want.
It just makes you so much more valuable.
Yes.
So much more valuable.
And so, yes, are you technically excluding people? Yes, but you're raising your value. I don't know about you. I'd rather work for 10 clients at $10,000 a month, right? Than 100 clients at $1,000 a month.
Right.
Like, that's just easy math.
Well, and the scarcity, the way that somebody broke my mind of the scarcity concern was, what he said to me is, everybody who drove past McDonald's this morning without turning in said no to McDonald's. Do you think McDonald's cares? They're still $1 billion company with most people having zero interest of going there.
Exactly. And that could be your business too, but you got to niche down. And I'm telling you that. And listen, I've been in business since 1996. Okay. I had lunch a couple of years ago with a mentor of mine who he said has business, and I told him, and he stopped me and he said, you know what your problem is?
You gotta love that.
You're stuck because you won't niche down.
Oh.
And I said, but Dennis, I did niche. He said, that's not a niche. You're still trying to serve everybody. I said, no, Dennis. And I had to realize he was right.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to break barriers until we did, right? Now, so that was the first thing. The second thing you talked about was authenticity. Authenticity is a big deal. Why? Because we are afraid. Yeah. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of the judgment.
Right. Afraid of people not liking you.
You're afraid of the judgment. And here's the deal. They're not going to like you.
They don't like you anyway.
Okay. All right. So we got that out of the way.
We got past that. So true.
Here's the deal. Whether you want to accept it or not, you didn't accidentally create a business. Whether you want to accept it or not, your business, we said this already, your business isn't about you. Whether you want to accept it or not, you were created to create this business to help a certain population of people. Whatever you do was designed specifically to help a certain group of people. They need you. Now, you want to talk about authenticity and you don't want to get judged, which means you're not helping those people. So what you're really saying is you're fine with being selfish. Yeah, authenticity, that excuse is nothing more than you being selfish. That's it for a moment. No, Atiba, I'm not selfish. I don't like it when, oh, yeah. So those people you're supposed to help are worth less than the whatever excuse you just made when I said you're being selfish.
And that's what I go back to. What is your priority?
Mm-hmm.
Which is more important? And for me, when I'm stuck, when I'm trying to solve something, I'll get real black and white about it because the world is really gray, but I will get real black and white about things when I'm trying to make a decision. Mm-hmm. And so I will, using this as an example, what do you want and how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
So if I am worried about being authentic and I'm not putting myself out there, what I am effectively saying is, I am prioritizing potential, not even real, potential judgment by strangers over growing my business, supporting my family, impacting my audience. Where are my priorities?
Yeah. Where are they? Where are they? Right? Where are they? Now, and I get it because you look at and you say, well, and I'm going to be real out there with this one, right? I mean, I don't want to come off like Trump, where all these people hate me, and then yeah, guess what? That's the persona that he wants to portray for whatever he wants to portray it for. That's his authentic self. He wants to be hated. There's some people who want to be hated.
There are people who like that antagonistic role.
Now, that doesn't mean that has to be you, right? You need to be who it is you are in your content. Let the real you shine, the quirky you shine. Let it come out. Let people actually feel you, understand you, because here's the thing that it's going to do. It is going to repel those people that you hate working.
That you don't want to talk to anyway.
You know who they are. Close your eyes right now. You can think of those clients that you wish you did not sign that contract with. You're like, how quickly can I get out of this contract? Yeah. You being authentic on camera or even written will repel those people and pull in those people that you want to jump out of bed every morning to serve.
All right. You and I can talk forever, but I want to make a specific point here before I ask you to tell people how to get a hold of you. This conversation is the difference between hiring somebody who understands how business works and how what they do exists and supports business as a big picture, and hiring the kid who knows how to edit videos.
Yeah.
Too many times I watch people make decisions as to who they hire, what programs they join, based on, money, or this is what I can afford, when instead of looking at investing in the person who can propel them forward.
Yeah.
So for those people who understand they need to invest in the person who can absolutely propel them forward, how do they get a hold of you? How do they find you? Tell us all the important information.
So it's real simple, y'all. Me and Erin talked about a lot of stuff, right? We went deep on a bunch of stuff, and quite honestly, I really, really hope it opened your mind to some things. And if it opened your mind to some things, it also means it brought some new questions into your existence. I want to know what those questions are, because I want to help you answer those questions. So, what I'd like you I can talk. What I would like for you to do is go to meetatiba.com. That's meet, A-T-I-B as in boy, A.com. What that's going to do is going to take you directly to my LinkedIn. When you get to my LinkedIn, click on the more button and hit connect. Make sure you hit connect. That's going to let you send me a message. Tell me you saw me on Erin's show, you heard us on this show, and here are my questions. I'm going to answer your questions.
Love it. This is so okay. That's a huge opportunity. That's a huge give, because now the ball is in your court. And I love these situations, because now if you don't get your questions answered, that's on you, because Atiba is giving you this huge opportunity. So thank you for that. So thank you for spending more time with me and sharing your energy, your effort, your insight, all of your ideas. I love it. I love people who combine brilliance and passion.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. We'll let the Superman hat go for now. That just comes with the package. Okay, fine.
It does come with the package.
But yes.
One day I'll tell you the story.
Okay. We'll do another round. We'll tell the story. So yes, thank you so much for joining and all of this information. And I know you've opened some minds, which I know you love to do. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure.